It felt really good to be back in front of a crowd and just having everybody cheer for you, and it's just like a completely different atmosphere than in the gym, and so it gives you that extra adrenaline rush and energy that you need to get through those routines. So it was really fun to be back.
For me, it was really cool to be out there for the first time. I can't imagine it being any more hype in there than it is, and I can't wait to compete when everyone is there.
You guys covered it.
Miley, how does it feel entering your senior season? Does it feel real, and kind of how prepared are you for the year?
It's a little crazy that I always say it's going to go by really fast, and you're like, yeah, right, and then it does. I'm as prepared as I can be at this point, We still have a little bit of time before season, so a little bit of time for little tweaks here and there, but I feel good.
It feels like you guys are deep in every event, everything. What does it feel like this year going into the season? Obviously, you're ranked number 3, but just kind of tell your thoughts on that.
Obviously, we put 8 up, but we actually have a lot more depth than that. We have so much more depth, and I just feel like our team this year is so different, even though we have a lot of the same routines. The energy is really fun, and the team chemistry is good, and I feel good about this year. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'd say the same. We have so much depth on this team, and I think that it just gives us more confidence going into the meet too, knowing that we have so many people to back us up if we need to. And I just feel really good about this year and all we can accomplish.
Kind of following up on what you talked about, Miley, about the energy on the team, it was pretty obvious that there's a lot of excitement and a lot of joy out there, which I'm not saying is not what it was in the past, but it's obviously a little different. I'm curious where that's come from. Do you guys have an idea, or is it just the collection of personalities that you have?
I think it's just the collection that we have this year. We have a lot of energy. I think that comes a lot from Abby Brenner, our new addition, our 5th year from Michigan recently. She's just a ball of energy, and she's super energetic and positive, and I think that helps us a lot, honestly. And it's just a different makeup, new year.
Grace, obviously last year you just kind of didn't stop, right? You get into it, kind of rushed into it. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like now that you've had a time to breathe that you feel a little more confident and relaxed that you're able to kind of do things?
Yeah, I think going into this season I feel more confident, more calm up on the equipment. I'm not so jittery getting up there, and I've kind of learned how to deal with my nerves, just because the college scene is very different than the elite scene, and the nerves are very different, and so I feel like I've kind of figured that out more, and so I feel more confident going into my routines for sure.
How do you feel like you've taken in this process so far? It's still new to you. You haven't gone through a real meet, but how do you feel like everything's gone so far?
I think it's gone pretty well. There's definitely a lot that I can learn from, but being able to compete with the team and with that crowd and all that support is so amazing. It's something that it just doesn't happen in club, and I'm so excited to see how the season goes and how the energy helps take me.
McKinnon, are you intimidated easily?
Well, maybe a little bit sometimes.
You didn't act like it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You're fierce out there.
Yeah. How did you deal with that? Because it's always a big deal for freshmen to come into that crowd and go, here I am.
Honestly, trusting that I know how to do everything. It's all stuff I've competed before. The energy is supposed to pick me up and give me the good adrenaline to help me get through and not bring me down. So it's just trusting everything, and the team really helps because anything I need, they can help calm me down.
Where do you feel like your biggest strength is? Beam was obviously your biggest strength last year. Where is that still there? What's grown, I guess you could say?
I definitely feel like we've grown in a couple areas that were necessary to grow in. Tom always says a national championship winning team doesn't have one short event. Our vault squad this year is killer, and I just feel like our bars and beam are withholding like they were the last couple years. And then on floor, we're also kind of working on our performance quality just so we can get that extra oomph in where we need to be. But yeah.
What did you guys think of your number 3 ranking?
It doesn't. I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong, but season can change, and everybody's gonna come under pressure, and that might help or hurt you. And so we're just gonna take it one meet at a time and see where we end up at the end.
This team is kind of known for pushing boundaries and and setting history for women in sports. And we're now in this new era of NIL, and you guys are once again kind of a part of that history and pushing things forward. What's it like kind of being involved and being heavy hitters on the female side of things with NIL?
I think it's really cool to inspire young girls and like show them everything we can do, and all the opportunities we're given in these sports now. I just think it's an incredible experience and something you shouldn't pass up on if you have the opportunity to. So.
Yeah, and we also have the Who Rocks the House Collective, which is like the first female-based towards one sport collective, and it's honestly super amazing, and I think it's really going to help us reach out to the community and do things that we love to do.
Yeah, refamiliarizing yourself with equipment, and there's some new equipment out there, so just spatial awareness and some of the visual stuff. And so that was the goal number one, and goal number two is obviously nobody gets hurt. So we got that done, and there was a lot of good things for still several weeks to go before our first meet, so we felt like there's a lot of good things tonight to build off of, and it gave us a good barometer of where we can tweak some lineup changes, and if we threw a lot of new skills tonight as well, and are we throwing the right skills, the right combinations, the right lead passes, stuff like that. So it was good for us coaches to see what they're like when they're in an arena, different set of equipment in front of a few thousand, whatever it was, fans, quite a few actually.
I know you like to tinker as the season goes, and you're obviously going to change lineups and different things that way, but do you feel like you have a good plan going into this year and how those rotations are going to fit, or is that honestly going to be something that continues throughout the season?
I feel better about what we're going to do for our first meet as long as progress is still being made, and where we can build off of scores and stuff like that. I feel a little bit better after tonight, seeing what they did. But again, you know when you know, and you're right. I'll tinker right up until the judge raises the flags. So helps you guys stay on your edge.
You obviously took it easy on vault, the gymnasts did.
I always do.
Yeah. Do you have, how many 10-0 vaults do you have this year? Or
We threw 6 at the Thanksgiving inter-squad, so a full slate of 6. So which is good. It's something we want to accomplish and get to. Let me look at something real quick. Let's see here. I think we're training. Yeah, we got 6. So we've got 6 right now. Will we use 6? Again, they've got to be, the number one thing, they've got to be safe, and we got to feel like they're in a good spot with them, and that's kind of how we'll gauge the vault.
You've added a lot of depth to all of your rotations. I mean, where do you feel like you've maybe gained the most this year? So bringing in Abby Brenner obviously helped with depth on her 2 strong events. But when you bring it in, we back Jill, so that helps, right? And then Kara's healthy and training all 4 events, so that helps. So some of the growth was from within. Someone was bringing in people. Obviously, you guys saw what McKenna Smith can do, and now you know why I was excited about her. She's a superior athlete, and so we're really deep gains, and on probably our biggest gains were probably floor and, believe it or not, floor and bars. You talked about new equipment. I mean, I know that's the monitors and some of the other stuff like
Yeah.
that. How important really is that as part of the experience of gymnastics?
It's really, well, and the vault is brand new tonight. We took it out of the box, put it together literally today. So you know what I mean? They were like, oh well, here's the new vault, and so supply chain issues. It didn't get here. We ordered it like a year and a half ago, and so put it together and let them rip on it. I think it's important. I think it's important. Just what you see in the gym. Visually, proprioceptive kinesthetic awareness changes when you get in an open air arena like this. It just does as an athlete, and so I think it's incredibly important to see what it's like. And their extension got a little bit better tonight. Their leaps got a little bit higher. Their tumbling got a little bit higher, and that's from adrenaline. And they've got to experience that and then control their aggression.
So in seasons past, you guys have started out with that like Best of Utah or one of those
Yeah.
quad meets. What does it mean to start the season off with LSU at home?
Super tough. They're a great team, and for us, we know we have to see. We're going to eventually see those teams, whether it's now or in postseason, and we built this schedule and the schedules that are going to come after this, so we can see where we measure up. But they're a great team.
What was it that you liked about Smith when you were recruiting her?
She's spunky. She just has an it quality. She doesn't back down. So she's on the cusp of being a freshman all-arounder on this team.
You're able to participate, at least vocally, in the NIL and stuff like that. We saw
Yep.
the video and stuff
Support.
like that. How do you feel that helps your program? Obviously, the Red Rocks have had the collective and everything, but how do you feel like that helps your program?
Well, one, if I can speak on the collective itself, first of all, we're just awestruck at the continued support of this program in this valley of the I-15 corridor. It's just unbelievable. And the collective in itself, the philanthro-fan approach to it, gives back to the community, and it's really good for our athletes and then also their futures too. Like Jillian Hoffman is literally saving her NIL money to go to nursing school. And so there's some really impactful things and positive things that are happening with it. And then also it's for us, for the athletes, and for women, it's pretty cool to see that they're benefiting from this stuff. And a lot of limelight goes to a lot of other sports, but here in this valley, they treasure the Red Rocks. And so how lucky are we?
What's it like being a part of a program that has that history of kind of pushing boundaries and showing that female athletes can be just as prominent as male athletes?
Yeah, it's it's an anomaly, and not many people have that. Many fan bases have that. Not many programs, women's programs, have that. But for me, I literally just want to chip in a few, coins to the overall legacy. If I can chip a few dimes and nickels here and there over my tenure here at Utah, that's all I want to do is keep adding to it. I'm really proud of the legacy. I felt like personally as a coach, when I came here, it's an honor. There's no other words to say. It's an honor to work here and to be a part of this program, and then to be able to help carry the legacy on a little bit and chip in my change. It's pretty cool. And to see it generation after generation after generation continue to happen, and then all the alumni support, obviously past coaches support, and it speaks volumes, right? It's a culture. So that culture, our culture as a team, is a microcosm of the culture that was created here, but also in the whole valley.
It's not even just NIL though, that you guys are
Pushing the boundaries.
Growing, pushing boundaries.
Yeah, their leotard collection.
The leotards, new workout center, the dumping center, getting the facelift,
9,000 square feet.
To have that much support behind the program when there's other programs that also need the help.
Yeah.
Does that ever blow your mind?
It does, and I understood when I worked with Greg a long time ago and Megan, that man is a visionary, and he never stopped even wanting more, and he was, I don't want to this in about Greg, but he was really, Greg has his own quirks, and his best moments were always on the phone with me. For whatever reason, I think I've told this story before, but literally he would always say, never stop growing, never stop pushing, never stop trying to be the best. And he would say this stuff to me, and it was very meaningful from an old guy to a young coach when I was a long time ago. But I learned that stuff, and I had that in me, before I came here. I kind of had it on a smaller scale and wanted all that stuff. But here, it's fantastic because you can actually dream the biggest dreams and go after whatever you want, and you can have it here. And you can't do that at every school. We're blue blood.
Why didn't you get to design your outfit for school?
My own NIL is coming out. I did back down on it was going to be a 1990s tank top that went down to here. So, but I decided to back down a little bit. But that's where the empowerment of the athletes. That's where it's going. Like allowing our athletes to design their own leotard, whether it was our colors or whoever's colors there, it was their personal expression. If you could see Alani's was military and Sage's was related to breast cancer. There was just some really touching points with those and deep connections with the design of their leotard, and that's where this is all going. This was the first step to allow that personal expression, because NIL, it's a jersey sale, it's a T-shirt sale, it's whatever, it's all coming. So we're on the precipice of it. We understand that, but we're also going to support them.
I assume Kara's okay. What happened?
Oh yeah, she got ahead of herself, and technically she just danced a little bit bigger, and just it is what it is. It happens, and she's been great in practice. Haven't seen that in practice, of course, but this is why you do this, right? Get in the meet, see what they're like. Not a meet, but a practice in front of thousands of fans.